Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me in today's lesson. And I'm so happy to have you here. And let's start our lesson today. But before I start, I want to say something that I am not an English teacher. I am an IELTS student, and I created all of that because I need to focus on my speaking skills. As you know, IELTS for non-native speaking of English is hard, it's not easy, especially if you want have specific score, okay? This is not easy. So anything I'm here for revise with you or to explain it to you, I might have mistakes because I am non-native speaking of English, and maybe I have lots of mistakes, but you have lots of teachers here in this platform in YouTube. You can have any teacher you want and listen to it and see his way of teaching, okay? So without any judge or criticism, okay, I don't need anyone to criticize me because I am not perfect and I'm non-native speaking of English. So if you don't like my way of speaking or you see that I'm doing mistakes, don't see my content and go to another one. And if you want to stay, it's gonna be awesome and I'm gonna feel happy. And yeah, because we are going to be friends in this journey of learning English. Especially, I'm not living in speaking country, okay, English speaking country or foreign country. So you know that it's hard to find a way to speak correctly. So just bear with me, and I'm also sharing all the materials I have because I have taken too many courses in English offline and online, and I know that most English speakers or non-native speakers struggle to find the right resource to study from. So I'm here for that. And if you don't like the way I teach, you have lots of native speaker here in YouTube. You can go and yeah, you can know anything he teaches or whatever. I know that there are wonderful people here, and anyone want to stay, I encourage him to stay because I think we are going to be friends in this journey. Yeah. Anyway, let's start today's lesson, and this is probably going to be one of the easiest lessons in this course or the whole series. So grab yourself something to eat and to drink, and let's jump into right. So as you can see in my screen now, in this slide, it's a past continuous. So today we are going to combine between the past simple and the past continuous. Okay, and when we use this and when we use that. So let's take a look in the previous slide I have for you here, because this is gonna help you to elaborate more the idea when to use the past perfect and past simple. Okay, the present perfect and the past simple. Yeah. Anyway, this is something really small and like have the whole idea of the past present perfect and the past simple. And I think this is gonna be nice to revise before we enter to the past continuous. So the present perfect is unfinished past action, okay? And I also said the past simple is finished action. okay? And I have here two examples. As you can see here, I have known her for 2 years. I knew her for 2 years. So this is mean that in the present perfect, that this is unfinished action. It means I'm still in relation with her, okay? Or I still know her. But here in this column, I already know her and I already knew her, but now I don't have any relation with her, okay? Let's move to our next example here. I have been there twice. Okay, I have been there twice. My great great grandmother went there twice. So this is for life experience, and this is for life experience. We use it when we want to use the present perfect. But here, it's already finished action in someone's life, okay? Anyway, let's move on to the next one. I have lost my keys. This is mean that I can't find them right now in this moment. I'm searching for my keys and I have lost my keys. So this means unfinished time in words, okay? Unfinished actions here. Okay, time the next example we have. But here we have, I lost my keys last week. This means that last week I was trying to enter my flat or apartment, but suddenly I was searching for my keys and I didn't find it. This means that the action is finished last week. I lost my keys last week. Also, we use the present perfect here with unfinished time words like this week, and I emphasize and exaggerate this word so much. It's a frequency word and I need you to give it attention, please. I have seen her this week, because this week you can also use it with a past simple. I saw her last week. So here in this example is already finished action. But here we have unfinished action. This is mean I'm still seeing her, right? And we have here some, I have here some exercise mini task for you, and also here is the answers. Anyway, you're gonna like this so much. Let's move on to our today's lesson. I love past continuous, especially when combine it with the present perfect and the past simple. You need to know these three tenses. It's very important, especially if you are planning to work in international company and have interview or interview in American, wherever. You need to know these tenses. I know this is sound silly or easy, but when we enter the interview I think we have lots of mistakes when they ask us about our previous experience or something related to that. So first I'm going to explain the usage of past continuous and how we can form it. And then I have lots of examples here to practice more. All right, let's jump in. The first usage for the past continuous, an action in the past which overlaps another action or time. And the action in the past continuous starts before the often continuous after the other shorter action or time. All right, so let's elaborate and illustrate this idea more. I have here what is called a story. This is so important, by the way. And I entered a lot of interview and they ask a lot of question. They need to see how you can use the narrative. This is called narrative tenses. Okay. So for example, I was walking to the station when I met John. I started walking before I met John, and maybe I continued afterwards. This sentence here, it's explain what does it mean I was walking to the station when I met John. That I was walking before I met John. I was on my way to the station and then suddenly I met John. And maybe I continue forward to my destination or the place I want to go, or maybe I stop here. And the next one, at 3 o'clock I was working. This is mean I started before 3 o'clock and finished after 3 o'clock. Let me read it for you again. At 3 o'clock I was working. Okay? So before 3 o'clock is come, this time is come to the watch, or the time is time. I was working. And then when 3 o'clock come, I finished my work, because I finished my work at 3 o'clock. Okay? This is nice example. Okay? And I think I'm going to create for you something when to use the present perfect and the past continuous and the past simple in this way. I have amazing examples. I went to a course and he explained it to me in a very wonderful way, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Anyway, for the second usage for the past continuous, for the background of a story. So the wind was blowing, people were walking, talking loudly, and I decided to get out my book and read. One more time, I'm going to read it. The wind was blowing. People were talking loudly, and I decided to get out my book and read. This is like a background story. I use also the past continuous. And I'm gonna assume that you already know how to structure the past continuous, because it's easy. It was and where, was with he and she and it, and where, I, we, you, they, and with plus the verb plus the gerund or ing. Okay, this is so easy, and I know most people already know it. Okay, let's move on to the third usage here. Temporary habits, or habits that happen more often than we expected. In the past, we often use always, constantly, or forever. Here, this is the same as the way we use a present continuous for habit, but the habit started and finished in the past. This is the main difference between the present continuous and the past continuous. The present continuous, we use it at the precise moment. Habit, I do it at the precise moment. But in the past, we use it for already finished action, okay, or finished habit. So I'm going to read for you this example I have here. He was always complaining about work when he lived in the city. So the first example, as you can see here, is his habit, always complaining. He don't like anything. When he moved or lived in this city, he always complained. So here we use always as a frequency word. All right? And we use this word always or constantly or forever between the auxiliary verb or the helper verb and the main verb here. We have here the main verb complaining, the gerund, okay? Let's move on to the next one. She was constantly screaming. She was constantly screaming. They were forever planning new holiday. So in these three examples, meaning that she's used to screaming, but now she's not screaming anymore. And here they planning their holiday. And we have here some exercises, also lots of exercises. Yeah, let's move on to the best part here I have for you, the past continuous versus the past simple. So this is exercise for you. And yep, let's move on to another. I have another thing for you. I think, yeah, here in my slides, you can see it here. Yep, this is like a screenshot from an online course I had before, and I think this is gonna be nice for you. So the first part could either be there are two main combinations when we talk about these two tenses, and they are the past continuous plus the past simple and the past continuous plus. All right, so here he is illustrate the idea. Let's move to this example I have here for you. I was in the convenience store around my neighborhood last night to get some milk. When I was reading the description on the milk bottle, a man nagged me and asked for help with his card. While I was helping him with his card, he was chatting to a girl on Instagram. So, as you can see here in this whole dialogue, how he moved from the past simple and the past continuous. So the first tense we have here, I was in convenience store around my neighborhood last night. So here he used the past simple, and then he moved on to the past continuous. When I was reading the description, and the green color here, okay, the words highlight in the green color, this is mean important, when we use the past continuous. So I was reading the description on the milk bottle. A man nagged me. This is mean I was doing an action. I was reading description on the milk bottle, and suddenly someone nagged me and asked for help. And I think this structure of this both sentence here we have is related to when. Okay, when here is it's not question mark. Here it's connecting for words, and when have a grammar rule, by the way. So we use when with the past continuous and past simple. So here, as you can see, when I was reading the description on the milk bottle, a man nagged me and asked for a help. So the action followed by when is the past continuous, and then we have the past simple here with his card. While also is a frequency, it's a connecting word. I was helping him with his card. He was chatting to a girl on Instagram. Okay, and while is different than when. While is present past continuous plus past continuous. Okay, both sentences the same, but when past continuous and past simple. So in this short story, as you can see or notice, how he moved from the past continuous to the past simple in a very clever way. Let's move on to our next example here we have. Okay, so when we use the first combination, that is the past continuous plus past simple, as in I was reading. This is to illustrate the idea or elaborate it more for you. You don't have anything here, I think, new. This is the same. And also we have here was reading, emphasizing that the action was in progress, and nugget and ask it emphasize the completion, yes, of the action. Let's move on to this slide here. So to continue our past simple and the past continuous, we use it when we talk about or describe two actions that were happening constantly or simultaneously in the past, as a while as this example I have for you. While I was helping him with his card, he was chatting to a girl on Instagram. Both actions were in progress at the same time. Alright, as I told you that while is a connecting word and you need to be careful when to use while and when. So we have here more examples. Let's go over these examples. Dr. Smith was kissing his patient when I opened the door. This is awkward, I know, example here. Anyway, without any offense to any doctor here, this is just an example. I don't know. The teacher I take with, he give it, he write it here. Let's focus here, okay? So while he was kissing his patient, when I opened the door, this is mean that there is interruption happened the action. So that's why he used when. All right. And the same of these examples here. We have the last example here. We can see when she called, all the senior staffs were having a meeting. Okay. So when she called, all the senior staffs were having a meeting. And this can be used in a question form as well. For instance, what was the security doing when you pulled the pause? So this is how you can structure your question, okay? And the second one, why were the shareholders arguing when the CEO was delivering his presentation? So the second one also, how you can ask, we have here the question mark, the helping verb, and then the noun, and we have here the main verb, and we have here when. The whole question, I need you to notice how to use when you pull the piece. Okay, you need to notice how you can use when, because we have here when is not here as a question mark. This is for connecting between two sentences here. And why, this is our main question mark, where helping verb, the shareholder is the noun, arguing is the verb with ing, and we have when, and the CEO was delivering his presentation. I'm going to move to the last examples here. All right, so with certain verbs, when we want to talk about something we indeed do, so some intention or plans, but didn't do them yet, maybe, or we also use a past continuous. This is mean like verbs like mean, consider, think about, hope to. So let's move to the examples to more illustrate the idea of these verbs here. So I was meaning to go to my neurologist for my routine check yesterday, but my car broke down. So all of these sentence, we have two sentences here. This means that I was meaning to go to my neurologist, And for my routine, and check yesterday, but my car broke down. I had a plan to go to my psychiatrist or wherever for my routine, and his car broke down. Also, we can see the next example here. We were considering moving to Dubai, but unfortunately our plan flipped. This is mean he couldn't do. So considering also from the verb that it's a certain verb, you need to use past continuous. Okay. So these examples for giving an idea that there is a certain verb. Okay. This certain verb mean consider, think about, hope about. Okay. And these verbs come to the gerund, but in the past continuous. I was thinking about quitting business school, but my parents encouraged me to press on. Alright, so this is so easy, and I assume that you already have a solid idea about how to use the past continuous and the past simple, but this is also for revising for you. I hope you like this, and thank you for listening, and bye bye.